let's get underway. So if you don't know, my name is Randy Carroll. I'm the Director of Strategic Partnerships over here at Ruuster. I recognize some names. I've been around the space with a few other tech companies. The gentleman we have on the webinar with us today is a man of many titles. He is a team leader for a high-producing, very tech-forward team. He is one of Ylopo's esteemed realtors in residence. He absolutely rocked the stage in Austin, Texas at the co-sponsored FUB Ylopo event discussing automations. And so we thought it made a ton of sense. And of course, can't forget the most important title. He is a beloved Ruuster client. So what we wanted to talk about today was how Matt came to the conclusion. Like I said, he's a very tech forward agent, right? So he is ahead of the curve on pretty much every technology trend. Very knowledgeable guy, as you'll come to see. So we're going to crack open that genius skull of his and get to learn a little bit more about his thinking, about how he came to the conclusion of this is the direction technology is going. We're going to actually pop open a screen share here and go through just the way Matt is using FUB with Ruuster to get maximum results. And we're just gonna pull back the hood or pop open the hood and get right into it. So with that all being said, I have very little value to bring. Matt, you are the one who is going to be dominating this discussion. So let's dive on in. How did you come to the conclusion that getting your clients on their mobile device was valuable to your business?
Yeah, so one of the biggest things for us, we're very tech forward with our team, right? We like to make sure our clients have the best access to properties, the best access to the latest technology. And, we really use Follow Boss and Ylopo as the backbone of our system. And it works really, really well. And, in today's society, right, everybody has an app for everything, right? We're in that like that DoorDash society, right? Where people just want it now, right? They're on DoorDash, they're on Uber. And when it really hit me was last year when all those TCPA regulations kind of into effect, right? And a lot of my
Yes.
agents were releasing more and more of their text messages were getting blocked. And it hit me. I was like, how do I have a way to give my clients a custom portal where they can talk directly to me? I can push notifications directly to their phone with the latest properties. So that's really what made me decide to start using the Rooster app.
So real quick, let's just pause on that because I think when people hear about regulations and laws changing and all of that, their attention immediately goes to NAR and what's happening with the buyer broker compensation and all of those things, which is fair, and that's something you need to be aware of. But it definitely was a black hole of attention, and people completely missed what you're talking about. A lot of people on this call very likely do not know what you're talking about when it comes to messages coming from your phone or your CRM getting censored. Tell us, why is that happening? Why does it impact me as a realtor? And what are the repercussions?
Yeah, it's a lot of the cell phone carriers now, right? You have to have your business registration. You have to have your phone number registered as a real estate business. And they're watching all of our messages now, right? So if we're sending out the same thing all the time, or if we're sending out links, especially with links, they start marking those links as spam. So it's a lot harder to send out listings through links through text messaging. So having an app kind of solves that problem.
Yeah,
And
so sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say too, on the topic of like the whole new NAR regulations, right, that are coming into effect in the settlement. I feel like having an app like this is a really, really big value add, right? Because we're gonna have to meet our buyers early in the process, right? We're gonna have to get those buyers brokers agreements signed. And now, if we have a tool like this for our clients, it just ups our value versus all the other agents out there.
No, I mean that's a great point. What has been your approach to the way I've seen folks start investing in like putting together a buyer presentation the same way you do a listing presentation? Um, have y'all taken a similar approach? How is technology a part of that? What does that look like in your business?
Yeah, so your buyer's presentation have to be as good, if not better, than your listing presentation, right? So some of the things that we're starting to incorporate into our buyer's presentations is our home search app, right? Like, here's your custom search portal. This is one of the values of working with us. And we even put like a little paper with a QR code in the folder where they can scan to download it.
That's awesome. Yeah, I mean that's a huge value added. And why is that so important? Well, what we've seen work really resonate with folks lately is their concern about their privacy
Mhm.
and their data. Privacy was Chinese a couple of years ago, right? People were not, people did not understand the importance of it. Why does it matter, etc. Right? It was Mandarin. So, but now people care very much about their privacy and about their data being protected, right? So your clients can either continue to use national portals where their data is monetized, they are the product and sold to your competitors, or they can use your resource, Matt, and maintain their privacy, maintain their data. It is simply an extension of the conversation with you.
And that's the other reason too why it's really important. Like once you meet with your client or with your lead, like once you actually meet with them, you want to have them download this custom search portal and have them use it, right? Send them properties to there, have them chat with you. Because if they're looking on those other portals and they click a button, they're going to have 5 or 6 other people trying to call them, right? So I think that's another really huge value add to having this app is it's just like, hey, I have a custom portal. You're only going to be talking to me through this app, right? You're not going to get confused or hit up by multiple different people from other websites.
That's exactly right. So why don't Michael has a great question. Can you tell me a little bit about the app and how it works? Why don't we pop open FUB and show you how it works for an agent inside of FUB? Because this was really an innovative integration that we brought to the FUB community. We were the first company ever to integrate a product into FUB that creates that all-in-one feel that you may have missed from other programs where you can actually chat with your clients directly and search the MLS. You can search for properties, search for listings, right? Set up automated searches, share those out, all from the FUB interface, which again has been a very, very sought after feature request within the FUB community. So why don't you talk to us about what we're looking at, Matt?
Yeah, so this is basically a completely white labeled app, right? It goes into the App Store, the Apple App Store, also the Google Play Store. So people can go in there, they can search for your app, they can download it. As soon as they sign up on the app, I'll make them into your system as a lead here, right? And the really cool thing about it is Ruuster has this embedded app over here where it's basically your own version of the app on your phone right here within your follow-up boss, right? So if this person has the app and they're searching for properties, so I have the client open on my phone here, for example, right? And if they start clicking on properties, what you're going to notice here is watch the activity section on my follow-up boss, right? So if they click on a property, see how it says property search right there? They can hit
Oh, there
discuss.
it is.
Yep. And then they could even
I
hit
had the little zoom box over it.
they could even hit like discuss property with an agent, right? And they can say like, hey, tell me more about this one. And if they send me that message, I just got a notification on my phone. I'm also going to get a notification in my follow-up boss account here that that person notified or that person messaged me. So it's all integrated, right? We can see everything that's going on right within the system here. If I want to send a client a property, I can do that right through here as well. So I can just go search listings. Let's say I want to send this property to my client. I can go right here, refer to client. I can put a little note, right? Like, hey, check this property out. Hit send. That's going to push notify directly to my client's phone. They're going to get a message say, hey, Matt just sent you a property. And they can come right into this app and they can chat right back to you. So everything's integrated all in one place. That's the real power of this thing.
So let's just real quick define what a push notification is. Why is that different than a text message?
Yeah, so they have the app on their phone, right? And when you hit share, it's sending the property directly to the app on their phone. So it's popping up and saying, Matt's app has just sent you a property. So that's not going to get filtered. That's not going to get blocked. You're not going to have any of those issues when you're doing that because you have direct access to your client this way.
That is a
Cool about
really
this too.
important. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just gonna say what's super cool about this too is like for me with my team, like if something doesn't integrate directly with Follow Plus, I'm probably not going to use it because I want to do all of my work day to day from my Follow Plus system, right? I don't want to have to go out to like different third-party websites to do things. So what's really cool about this app is I can literally work on it right through here. I don't even have to go to my phone and work it, right? It's all right within the Follow Up system. So it's really like my command center.
Yeah, that's exactly right. You know, before Rooster, I worked for multiple different CRM companies, and the message was always, if it doesn't integrate with your CRM, you just can't use it, because you can't preach to your agents, use your CRM, and then instruct them to go use 3 other platforms. What you'll end up having is some agents adopt platform A, some adopt platform B, some use the CRM, and you have a completely dysfunctional tech stack. So the integration of the CRM is really a non-negotiable. And another point that I want to make sure we double click on is the direct access to your client. This is something where there will be no disinterested third party preventing you from communication with your client. That push notification is the 21st century version of crack, right? When someone likes your post on Instagram, when someone sends you a DM or comments on your post on Facebook, right? You get a message from Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, whatever you're on, and that sits on your phone screen until you either click on it or you very purposely wipe it out, right? You swipe it away. We're giving you that exact same technology that gets a 20 times higher open rate than emails and can't be filtered out as spam by cell phone carriers. So this is a huge, huge piece. I do want to answer your question, Roland, here. If we have a Sierra Home Search IDX, what is that where clients are search for homes integrated into Rooster? So if you have Sierra, which many FUB users have Sierra as well, with Sierra, we integrate with their IDX and their CRM. So if I search on your Sierra site, or if I'm an agent and I create a saved search to start sending properties out automatically via email because they don't have a app feature, through our integration, we will actually ingest that saved search. So the agent only set it up one time. It gets funneled into the Roland app experience as well. And now we're going to start sending those push notifications without the agent having to lift a finger. And the beauty of the integration is it's a two-way integration. So if you have behavioral messaging set up on Sierra, which is a feature that I absolutely love, and that behavioral messaging is if someone views a property 5 times, send them this. Because of our integration, if they view that property, let's say they register on your website, view the property once there, you probably notice most people don't come back to your website. They just register there and then they're kind of gone forever, right? But if you get them into the app, that's where people are. Over 70% of people search from their mobile devices. So you get them into your app, and now those next 4 property views of that same property come from the Roland, from the Matt, from the Megan app. Then we're going to trigger those behavioral messages. So now you're still getting that really powerful automation that Sierra provides, but you're actually able to have what I call full digital coverage. You have a desktop experience and you have a mobile experience. And I will tell you, you need both experiences because they do 2 different things. It's still an IDX search, but the desktop experience is optimized for lead capture. The mobile experience is optimized for lead retention. So that is something that is totally not what we're planning on talking about today, but I'm on a soapbox. Megan, we have a very robust Zapier integration where we can get effectively the same thing for Real Geeks. So happy to talk about that offline if you'd like.
And
Matt,
then Randy,
automation.
the other cool thing about this too as well is that within your app, right, you can put different blog posts in there. You can put different vendors in there as well. So it's really not only is it a custom search portal for your clients, it's a resource for them, right? So I can put in there, tips and tricks about buying and selling homes. I can put in all these vendors, right? Do you need a painter? Do you need an electrician? Do you need a plumber? I can put all those people into my app. And the cool thing is all that stuff shows up here under your activity, right? So if Randy's on my app and he clicks, I'm looking for a plumber, like it'll pop up in my recent activity here and Follow Up Boss, and I can see that. Or if he clicked like 5 things you need to do before selling your home, I would see like he read that blog post here. So it's a really, really great resource for your clients to have as well. It's another really great value about this app.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's dig a little bit deeper into that. What's a criticism that people get? Well, what happens when they're done searching for homes? Do they delete the app? Is it valuable after? What Matt just talked about is the value it brings as a resource, as a what's the language you use in your email, Matt? You call it a client portal.
Client
There you
portal,
go.
yeah, custom client portal basically. So just like that, right? So like the first email, the second email that I send out says something along the lines of your custom search portal. Thanks for registering. I sent you an invite to set up your custom home search portal. You can see all the properties in real time, communicate directly with me. Here's a link to download it.
I love it. That's awesome. That's awesome. Um, so talk about that under recent activity. If everyone looks in the upper right hand corner there, you can see article titled "The Benefits and Trade-offs of," and I know this article is titled "of," so I can cheat, of home ownership. What is that? What did I just do as a lead of yours by clicking there?
Yeah, so they basically, I just did it again on my app just to show you guys like how in real time this is. Literally, like as soon as you click on it, it fires off into follow-up us here. But now I know this person clicked on the trade-offs of homeownership, understanding the cost of homeownership. So that gives me more about their intent, right? I know, hey, this is probably a serious person looking to make a move soon. Because if they weren't, they would just be searching for properties. They wouldn't really be clicking the blogs and looking at different things, right? So it shows me that this is a much more intentional person. It's almost like, if you have your IDX site and somebody's viewing 50 properties, but then you have somebody who maybe viewed 20 but favorited 10, that person that
Mm.
favorited 10 is probably more intentional, right? So it's showing me who I should really target, if that makes sense.
No, it absolutely does. And talk to us about how you use smart lists and what role does this play in making sure you have the right smart lists.
Yeah, so the cool
If you're
thing
a
here
sub
is,
user and you don't use smart lists, you're missing out. So make sure you listen closely here.
yeah, the cool thing here is this is all showing up under recent activity, right? It also triggers a website visit. So if you guys have like one of my favorite smart lists and follow up laws is activity based, right? Where it's either the last activity or the last visit was less than X amount of days ago. So let's say maybe, they're on my website in the last 7 days, but we haven't talked to them in the last 7 days. So maybe last communication was more than 7 days ago, right? So now if you have a smart list like that, the people who are doing this activity on your app, they're going to show up on that smart list. So I always look at smart list as kind of like the radar that's sweeping your database and it's pinging you
Mhm.
on those important people that you need to reach out to. So that's the really cool thing about this integration because everything talks to each other, right? So we have a lot of intel about what the people are doing.
Yeah, let's go over that one more time because I want everyone to walk away from this. If you're already a sub user and you want to be a Rooster client, we'd love to have you. If not, that's okay. I want to make sure everyone gets value out of this. Go over that filter one more time. It was viewed a property, but there was no communication. Can you go through
Right.
that one
So
more
we
time?
do the filter, it's going to be last visit or last activity. And you
Hmm.
do it maybe less than 7 days ago or less than 14 days ago. So people who have been on your site in the last week or two, and then you're
Hmm.
going to do a filter for last communication. And on that one, you do more than, right? So maybe more than a week ago. So they've been on your site in the last week or two. You haven't talked to them in a week or more. And the mindset behind that list is really you're trying to find those active people, right? Because the people who are more active on your site are probably going to be your next transaction. So I have a list like that in my system, and every day we're hitting that list. And the cool thing about it is it all shows up under the activities. So whether it was from Ruuster activity, Ylopo activity, whatever other IDX website you're using activity, that list will work for everything.
Yes, that's exactly right. And that is something that I want to use as an opportunity to really emphasize this full digital coverage, right? If you have a Ylopo site, the Ylopo site is optimized. It is built to be a lead generation machine and it generates leads at a very high level. That being said, most people don't search on their computers. They don't. You probably don't. I don't. As soon as I get off this call, I'm going to pick up my cell phone. You probably are too if you don't already have it in your hand right now. That's fine. Websites, lead generation, mobile devices. This is where people spend the majority of their time. So you need to have a resource for them that is designed to be mobile so that you can capture their attention the majority of the time. You got their attention very briefly on your website. you will get their attention for a very long period of time if you give them a mobile resource. So
And
this
what
is
we're
an
finding,
attention game.
what we're finding too is that, once we get in front of that person, their likelihood of downloading the app is like almost 100%, right? Once we meet them at that first house or do that buyer's consult in the office, have them download our app, like our odds of converting that person is going to be a lot higher because then they have direct access to us, right? So a couple of ways we're using it is like that, right? Post meeting, also during like our first time, one of my agents did like a first time home buyer seminar, and everybody that has the app has like a landing page like this, right? Where it's basically, text me a link to download the app. And you could take this page, put it onto a QR code, right? And you could put it onto a flyer. So one of my agents did that with their first time home buyer seminar. They had like 20 people came in, sat down, went over the home buying process. And that was one of the parts in the folder where they had a QR code with this on it. And they got like all those people to download the app.
Guys, that's so genius. So you do your first time home buyer seminar. You say to the audience, I'm going to show you a QR code, or there's a QR code, at your table, at your seat, whatever. All of the content I go through today will be made available to you inside of this app. Just scan the QR code and download it, because we talked about this before with the article, titled Understanding the Cost of Homeownership or Benefits and Trade-offs of Homeownership. You can actually customize that content to be your first time home buyer seminar. You can put your videos in there, your PDFs, your images, things of that nature. You can really tailor it to you and the value that you provide. And then that is an instant lead magnet that people are going to want, right? This is a lead capture tool in its own right. I wouldn't say it's a lead generation tool in the same way Ylopo is. That is a true online lead gen behemoth. This is just a lead capture tool in other more niche situations.
It's also a lead nurture tool, right? I think that's the biggest thing is it's
Yes,
really once you get those leads, you capture them, you can really use this to nurture those people.
that's exactly right. That's exactly right. On the front end of the transaction, right? I view the real estate experience this way. You have pre-transaction, transaction, post-transaction, and then post-transaction. After enough time passes, you get to the pre-transaction stage again, right? And this is just the cycle you go through over and over again. This is the nurture for the pre-transaction, and this is the value add post-transaction. Matt was talking about vendors you can add. He said plumbers, right? If I have a leak at my house, do I really want to call a total stranger off Yelp or Google, or do I want to call Matt's guy? Matt's got a guy. Don't forget. So that is a major point of emphasis. This is not just a home buyer tool, but this is also, I'm a homeowner. I may sell in the future. I don't know. But something happened to my house, right? I've got to maintain a home. Everyone has to maintain their home. Maybe they just want to change the locks. Maybe a tree fell on their roof. Maybe they have a kitchen leak. Maybe they want to remodel their kitchen. You as the agent should be the first person that they think of. But Google, Yelp, Angie's List, who rebranded as Angie's, they're all competing for that attention. You make this available to your clients through your branded app, and now they can easily contact you.
Yeah, it's going to keep them coming back all the time, right? One thing we always say is that we all have the same product, right? We can all send listings out to clients. We can all do that type of thing, but we don't all have the same value, right? So having something like this just really takes your value and like 10x's it for your clients.
I love that. No, you're exactly right. Real quick, I do want to answer this question. Do you have a place that someone can go if they want to access some other smart list categories you found effective? Where can people interact with you?
Yeah, for smart lists, I can share them. If you want to send out a link to everybody after, maybe we can send out a link to all my smart lists.
That's exactly what we'll do. All right. So everyone, you can expect an email from us after the webinar, and we're going to share some additional smart lists to help you convert more and make more money.
I'll share that. I'll also share some of my automations that I use for Follow Boss as well, so you guys can get all that.
If y'all weren't in Austin and you missed his automation presentation, you missed out. It was a phenomenal presentation. I think literally 100% of people in the room learned something. which was pretty impressive because it was a room of very, very intelligent people. One question let's answer here, Lynn, difference between Homestack and Rooster. They put together a phenomenal product, and Will at Homestack, incredibly nice guy. I would say conceptually, our product is more so designed to address the full life cycle of real estate, buy, own, sell. And I think they put a heavy emphasis on the buy side. And then also, I would say our FUB integration is the best FUB integration of any product in the industry, period. And I've a lot of good reasons to believe that.
Yeah, it's literally like they cloned the app and put it into Follow Up Boss. I've never seen anything like that before.
We took our entire product suite and we put it in FUB. Like, as an agent, if you never used the agent side of the app and you only ever used FUB, you would have your full suite of features in there, which
That's
is
how I use it. I never even go into the app on my phone. I just go into FUB, go to the client, and I do everything right from there, which is what I was saying before. It's kind of like, FUB is really like the brains of my operation, basically, right? The central nervous system, and everything kind of has to plug in and talk to that. So I like doing everything right from there.
Yeah, I mean, and that's how you should do it. I mean, you're the model. That's the reason why your company does 150 plus million in sales. So you have the right process in place. Let's see. Questions. Can I get a recording? Yes, Cindy, we will send out the recording. Lynn, thank you so much for your time. Very good, very good. Looks like we got those questions covered. What is FUB? I'm not familiar with this. Deborah, FUB is short for Follow Up Boss. It is a CRM that is probably the most popular CRM amongst any team in the industry. Oh, Follow Boss. Okay, FUB is short for Follow Boss. Yeah, phenomenal people over there. I love the FUB crew. So yeah, we probably have 90 seconds left. Matt, going forward, how do you anticipate this is going to impact your business?
Yeah, I think it's going to help us really take our business to the next level because we have that much more personalized touch with our clients now, right? They literally have direct access to us from an app. We're able to talk to them. We're able to send them properties, send them vendors, send them whatever they need. One thing we didn't mention too is I think it's one of the new releases that you guys have is where you can push out sold properties to people in your system as well now, right? So let's say you have a potential seller. You could even put them into the app, put them on a push notification for the sold properties. And like every time something sells in the neighborhood, it will actually send them that sold listing. So I think that's a really, really great ad as well.
I appreciate that. And something that we think is a no-brainer is push notifications are obviously the most valuable form of communication. But if you have been in this business for a while and you have a large volume of past clients, what you can do with our product is you can set up all of your past clients on sold notifications immediately. And what we'll do is send them emails of these sold properties and we'll direct them to download the app to receive more. So it instantly starts surfacing up people who take that next level of commitment and download it, on their own, and alerts you, hey, Joe Smith downloaded the Matt app. Oh, I sold Joe Smith a property 6 years ago. Maybe I should reach out. So, anywho, Deborah, do I recommend FUB over all the other CRMs? I mean, yeah, pretty much. I don't know of a reason why you wouldn't use it.
Yeah,
It's
I've used so
got
many other ones, and ever since I started using Follow Boss, never gone back to anything else. It's really the best one. And then to your other question, ways to kind of obtain people's email addresses in a specific neighborhood. One thing I'd recommend is if you're doing mailers, do QR codes on those mailers, right? And you could do a QR code to go to your app or your custom home search portal, right? And if people scan it and download it, then boom, you've got their email address, you've got their phone number, you've got all that, right? You're organically capturing data. So if you are farming an area, I definitely recommend putting a QR code on mailers that go to the app.
yeah, absolutely. You have to have a easy way for people to take a next step, right? So if you don't have that call, I think colloquially it's called call to action, right? If you don't have a call to action on any of your marketing, you're not making it clear for your potential clients of what they need to do next. Call to action, scan and download.
That's what
Scan
we
and
do
download.
too. On all of our listings, we'll do a just listed, we'll do in escrow, just sold, and we'll do different QR codes, right? One might be to download our Rooster app, one might be to get their home value and go to our Ylopo seller landing page. So we do different things to try to capture leads that way, and it works really, really well.
What are some of the ways that you use physical mail? I know we're in bonus time right now, so for everyone who sticks with us, this is free basketball you're getting.
Yeah, some of the biggest ways we use it is, like I said, postcards around our listings, right? So every listing we have, we're hitting them with 3 to 4 cards, right? So just listed, maybe we'll do an open house one, in escrow, just sold. And then also once we sell a property, we're going to do a direct mail letter to those neighborhood or those people around the neighborhood, right? Kind of telling the story about how we sold the home, multiple offers over list price. We have more buyers who are looking for a similar home like yours. And then on those letters, we're putting those QR codes where it's like, hey, scan here to get your home value. And that's kind of the way we're doing it. Like, we really like to kind of tell the story, right? Because a lot of people send out mail where it's just like, I sold 5 properties, I sold 5 more, right? And not many people send out those mailers where it literally tells the story of how you did it, right?
Mm-hmm. I love that. That is, we're inherently story creatures. I actually read an article about this weekend, and I won't dive into it, but people need stories. So
You have to
don't
be
just send
different,
them.
right? Because everyone's sending out kind of the same thing, right? Like, I go into houses all the time for like listing appointments, and I'll see a stack of postcards that person got, right? Where it's all the same thing. It's like a picture of the agent, a picture of properties, and it's not really anything unique that sets them apart. So if I'm the homeowner, I'm just throwing those all to the side, and I'm not really paying too much attention to them. But if somebody sent me one with like a catchy subject line or a story that it told, that would kind of pull me in more to be able to want to read it.
And that's got the QR code that drives
Yep.
them to download the app or get their home value, whatever. So that marries the digital and physical world.
Exactly, because you want to hit people everywhere, right? You want that omni-channel approach where you're basically hitting people online, you're hitting them by mail, you're hitting them through email, remarketing campaigns. You want to hit them everywhere because everybody has different communication methods, right? Especially if I have a listing in a neighborhood, I want to try to hit that neighborhood with everything possible because out of one listing, I should be able to get another one.
So that's the team, like, standard operating procedures. You got one listing, use that to generate your next.
Right. Yeah, we had one recently where we got one, then we sold the one across the street. And then we just did another mail campaign to that whole neighborhood, right? Like, hey, I sold 2 properties in your neighborhood in the last 2 months. So again, it goes back to telling the story like, hey, I'm really that neighborhood expert.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I am the local. I love that. That makes a lot of sense. Um, what are some best practices in your mind for incorporating the the non-home search piece of Rooster into the business? Like, let's call it the home services. Like, how do you incorporate your vendors into your business? Is that something that y'all have done a lot in the past, or is it something that you plan on doing more of in the future? How do you
Yeah.
use your vendors to generate more value for your clients?
Yeah, it's something we plan on doing more in the future for sure. But we have a lot of vendors where over the years we've kind of worked with them consistently. And the fact that we can put them in our app and say, hey, you're going to be able to, have direct access to all of our clients, they really like that a lot. And you can even monetize it, right? So you can do like an MSA with those vendors and say like, hey, I have a yearly subscription to be on my app. It's X amount. So you can almost kind of, pay for your Rooster app through marketing with some of those vendors as well. I think that's kind of where you were going with that.
Yeah, I mean, that's cash flowing the app is a huge benefit. And it's not just your standard. Yeah, I invite you to be creative, right? Don't just go to the same old vendors, the mortgage title attorneys, depending on your state. Um, if you've been, we've got a client in Orlando who's been working with the same roofer for forever, right? And now this is his roofer is going to be his preferred roofer in his app, and that roofer is going to pay for the platform. We have another client in Boston whose electrician got a $25,000 contract his first week that the electrician was marketed inside the app. That electrician is never going to go anywhere, right? They're going to be marketing inside this client's app, for as long as he's in real estate.
And with
So
that too, like, think about your market too, right? Because everyone's market has different types of vendors a client might need, right? So maybe there's some niche ones that some of your clients in your area might need, right? And like Randy said, don't just think about the lender, think about the plumber, the electrician, the locksmith. Maybe somebody needs an architect, right? Put everything possible in that vendors page on your app. This way the client is not going anywhere. Because I always talk about in my training sessions with clients, you really want to keep your clients in a feedback loop, right? Where they're basically getting emails from you, getting listings from you, and everything you're sending has a way to link them back to your page, right? So you want to keep them on your website or your app, and you want to make sure you have every single resource that person ever might need within your ecosystem. You don't want them to have to go somewhere else to find something.
I love that feedback loop. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah.
I
So
mean,
like
I don't
every
want to
time,
overcomplicate it.
no, just for example, like every time we send out an email, right? We want to have a clickable link. Maybe it's the last 5 properties we looked at on our website using the merge field and follow-up boss, right? We want to have some kind of a clickable link that brings them back to our website. So we don't want to have them go somewhere else. We want to have them stay within our system. So any email, any text, anything like that. And that's why the app is super powerful too, right? Because if we're sending everything through the app and they're communicating with us through that, they're already in our system. They're not going to want to go anywhere else.
That is the final destination for your clients, right? You can use all these other various resources, all these other forms of communication, but what you want to do is drive them back to the place where they spend the bulk of their time, this pocket calculator or pocket computer, and drive them there, give them every resource they need. What I, I was hoping this would be an obvious answer, but tell us what website provider are you using?
Yeah, so we use Ylopo for our IDX website and a lot of our lead gen.
Yeah, Matt is the Ylopo Realtor in Resident, which basically means he's a gigabrain who knows how to use Ylopo and Follow Up Boss to make the most amount of money. And obviously he saw by adding Ruuster, he can make even more. So definitely recommend checking out that trifecta of technology. Um, I had another
I find
question
a lot
for
of my
you. Oh,
agents too. Just last thing I'll say too is I find a lot of my agents, there's some of them that, they do a lot of their personal sphere, like their personal referrals, but they don't necessarily work my online leads too much because they already have their own thing going on. But those people love having the app as well because now, they can send it out to their sphere of clients and, keep in communication with those people. So that's another really big benefit.
you're exactly right. It is beneficial, even if you're listening to this and thinking, well, I just really do my network and referrals. This is a digital way for your network to grow and expand and have clients share this with one another. So it's huge value in that regard. Kim, I'm putting Matt's last name in the chat for you. Um, and just one more thing, just you mentioned it and it made my brain think. Putting in vendors like a locksmith. Why is that so valuable? Well, when do you call a locksmith? I'm usually in a state of panic. I have just locked myself out of my house. I'm very frustrated. Conceptually, I don't even know how comfortable I am with the profession of locksmith because I'm just calling a total stranger to come let me into my house. So I can call a total stranger, or I can open up the Matt app, and I trust Matt, and because I trust him, that trust conveys. I now trust the people that he trusts, right? So I can call Matt's locksmith, feel good about that person letting me into my house. Oh, and by the way, Matt now knows. Matt knows that Randy goofed, locked himself out of his house, called a locksmith, and now Matt can call me and be like, hey, did my locksmith pick up? Is he on the way? Is everything settled and taken care of? Oh, and by the way, are you in a rush? Can I send you an Uber? Can I give you a ride? Right? That kind of experience has literally never been possible before because not one time in history has someone ever called a locksmith and that locksmith said, oh, and by the way, Randy, what realtor did you use to buy your house? I'm going to call them and let them know I'm on the way. Literally, I will say that's never happened in history. But the experience you can now give that client because you called in to check on them to make sure that locksmith is going to come and save them. Huge benefit. And that is the type of experience that person is going to go and tell everyone they know. I locked myself out of my house today. My realtor has an app. I called their locksmith. They let me in. My realtor called me. You should use my realtor. That is an experience you cannot forget. This got cut off on the top here, but own your client experience. That is a phenomenal example. All right, Matt, we have taken up way too much of your time. I'm super thankful. Barely anyone dropped off. So obviously you were bringing the heat as always. What you can expect from us is an email with some of the content we talked about. And we are all very grateful. Please, if you're interested in finding out about Ruuster, it's rooster with 2u's.com, RUUSTER.com, RUUSTER.com. And I am so very grateful for y'all's time.
Awesome. Thanks,
Matt,
everybody.
you're the man.
For sure.
Cheers.
All right, see you later, guys.
Promo codes. Mention promo codes. I don't know. Matt, what's a promo code we should give them?
Tell them Matt sent you.
Matt sent you. You say Matt sent you, you got a promo code. All right. Cheers.
All right, see you later, guys.